And good morning, golfing world. It's Monday Morning Golf Wrap here on TGD today, thegolfdirector.com. With me, of course, my brother from a different mother, Hugh Roy III. Good morning, Hugh, baby.
Good morning, George.
And you know what? I just feel like I ought to take away the stool and just sit below the counter because we got a hunk of a man with us today, making us look kind of, I don't know, old.
You guys don't look old, not at all. No way.
I want to introduce everybody to Mr. Tyler Light. He is a new member of the PGA Tour Canada. Welcome, Tyler.
Thank you, George. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Good to have you. Good to have you. Yeah. Got the tailor-made hat on.
He's
sporting over there.
Ready to go.
He's ready to rock and roll. You're getting ready to go to TaylorMade, aren't you? Get fitted?
Yeah. Leave Wednesday. Get fitted on Thursday.
Super.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Your Ben, your friend, just did that.
Yeah, he did. I saw all his new sticks. I figured, well, I should get that.
Well, especially seeing that you got the tour card.
Oh, that's true, too. Yeah. And he's not letting me swing his stuff. So.
Oh, he's not?
No, he won't let me touch his clubs. No.
Well, I'll see Ben later today, so I'll step on him
Give
for
him
that
some
one.
grief.
Tyler, relax, bud. You've been away for a while.
I just don't understand people that, they get stuff and they want to come back rubbing your face. Be a friend and say, hey, dude, try it out and see what you think. That's the old days.
Yeah.
Well,
you wouldn't let me touch yours, but then again, I understand why.
Well, every time you touch mine, you put a signature on the top of it.
That's right. See, I understood why. I said I understood.
I mean, I let you hit my irons.
You know what? You could take those signed clubs that the Godfather signs, and put them on eBay and sell them. Yeah.
Make quite a profit.
Just tell them to wipe the Dapper Dan off the face.
Yeah, no kidding. There's enough Vaseline
I'm
on
a
the
Dapper
face.
Dan man.
Because trust me, you don't think he won't grease it up to hit a tee shot.
Oh, I'll grease it in a heartbeat. Tyler, give us a little snapshot of who Tyler Light is and how you got to this point.
Well, I'm from Canton, Ohio. Went to school at Malone University. Graduated in May. Moved down here in June. Turned professional in June. Played the first event on the NGA Tour.
Swingthought.com.
Yeah, swingthought.com now.
Yeah.
Moved down here with Ben. He went to college with me. And then decided to try to get to the next level, so do the PGA Tour Canada Q School. That was out in California.
Where at in California?
Lompoc, California. It's about 3 hours north of Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. Everyone I talk to, they have no idea where that's at.
I mean, I've heard of it. Somebody I played with a long time ago was from up there, but I can't remember who it is.
Yeah. It's a quiet little town. I mean, in the middle of a drought, it was just everything was brown and
sure.
But course was tough. And
how many attempted?
Around 120.
Okay. How many cards were there?
Top 18 got partial status.
Okay.
And then top 40 got conditional status.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So basically, top 18 was the goal, and the winner got full status.
Oh, okay.
So my goal was just top 18.
How many days?
4.
4 days.
4 days. And actually, I was able to fly out with another college buddy. He went to Malone University, Nathan Tarter. Great player. So we actually were able to split costs out there. We both actually finished tied for 5th. So now we're both going to be playing PGA Tour Canada together. So
y'all had a bunk bed with just one mattress? Is that what you mean by split cost?
See, I knew you'd go there. I was trying to beat it, Dustin. I was trying to get. But so what is it? How many before the reshuffle? 13.
Events?
No. Canada's got less events anyway.
They have 12 events.
I'm thinking about the regulars 13 before they reshuffle.
It's not
6
1949.
6 events. Okay,
yes,
so you've got 6 before they go out and reshuffle you.
6 for the reshuffle.
Yeah. Because on the regular web.com, they go 13 from tour school and then they reshuffle to whatever. So just.
And that was kind of the goal. The goal is to get to the web.com, and that felt like instead of Monday qualifying, trying to travel and play well in one day, play on the PGA Tour Canada. I think top 5 get web cards.
Okay.
And then I think top 14 end up going to final stage of web.com Q School.
Right.
You can improve your status there.
Well, that's not – top 14's not bad.
I think don't quote me on that, but something like that.
Yeah.
So your first event's coming up in a couple weeks, right?
I leave the 24th. What is that, 6 days?
Mm-hmm.
Play up in Vancouver, and then go from Vancouver, take a ferry on over to Victoria. Then come back down here for 2 weeks, then head back up to Canada for 4 weeks, and then see where I'm at after the reshuffle.
So you get a little break.
Yeah, they do a good job, and then you start in Vancouver, then you work your way over, work your way east.
And toward the end of the season, you're over in Halifax and that area.
Yeah. A lot of them finish up near Ontario, Lake Ontario, and have one out in Nova Scotia.
Beautiful golf courses, by the way. And we have a lot of Canadian followers and listeners here and viewers of the network. They interact. They are absolutely lovers of thegolfdirector.com. So that's why it was great getting to know you and meeting you, and then finding out you got your tour card up in Canada. So we'll be able to track along and follow you and see how you're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you need a caddy, I'm available. Hush. Don't say a word.
How much you charge?
Oh, dude, I'm cheap.
Oh, cool.
No problem. Yeah.
Awesome.
Then I don't need to say anything.
You get what you pay for is what HR3 was about to blow out there. So, but I am cheap. There's no doubt about it. So, a couple weeks, you get started, Vancouver, then the ferry ride over. So, what is your goal in these 6 events that you're basically participating in?
Well, the goal.
It better be to win.
Yeah. The goal is always to win.
I mean, seriously.
That's a given. But
that was a wasted breath.
No, it wasn't. Let's look at. I want to hear his answer to: does he have a plan? Does he have a goal? Does he have objectives?
He's better be in the top 5, top 10 every week, so that he can make sure and guarantee his spot in the shuffle. And then it's about getting up into the top 5 on the money list.
Okay.
Period.
Okay. Now,
because if not,
give me your answer after you've heard pros.
Well, looking at the guy that won, he was leading money getter last year. He won 2 events, made about 45 grand in those 2 events that he won, and then he made another maybe 35 grand in the other 10 events.
Okay.
So it's kind of I've been talking with Alistair out of Barefoot, and now because all the courses I hear are tree line, kind of shorter. So you just try to hit the fairway, hit the green. I hit the ball far, so I'm trying to take advantage of that. So I was asking Alistair, do I hit driver everywhere and just hope for the best? If I hit the driver well that week, I'm going to play well. And he said, well, what's better? Is 1 win better than 4 top 10s? What's going to get you more money? I said, probably the win. Okay, we'll go for the win. So if I'm feeling good with that week with the driver, just going to try to take advantage. And you saw Rory, what he did with the driver. So if you're hitting the driver well, take advantage.
Well, that's true. But then again, too, if you find yourself all of a sudden not making a cut or not picking up a check just to pay the bills for that week, do you throttle back and go with the 3-iron or the hybrids or the 3-wood and just make sure you get into that top 10?
That's another good point. Yeah, and that's kind of.
I have no comment. You know my thoughts.
I know you're dinking.
What's your thoughts?
My thoughts, and I don't know.
Get up on the mic.
I don't know Alistair and whatever, but to be honest with you, I don't want to cause a problem, but that's about the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Okay.
You go out there and play, and you hit it 9 miles, put the ball in the fairway, put it on the green, and give yourself opportunities on every hole. You go out there and drive it, and you drive it bad, and you can't break 80.
Yeah.
Buddy, you just wasted your whole flipping time. This is, you watch the guys on tour, and I laugh because John Verrill sent me something the other day. He's sitting up there on the practice tee at Wells Fargo, and he goes, dude, David Toms, it's the prettiest cut I've ever seen. I'm like, yeah. He goes, but he hits it nowhere. I said, well, what does that matter? The man's on tour, and he's won a major. Who cares how far you hit it?
He's been on tour 23 years.
I mean, who cares how far you hit it? You look at Spieth, he averages 285. He wins the Masters. You know, the guy is not driving it every hole. I mean, it's about managing your golf ball, putting it in positions to where you can score. You can drive it 9 miles. You can drive it up there in front of a green and pitch it on a green. But if the greens are hard and they have hard pin placements, you have no shot.
On given weeks, Rory is as accurate with his driver as he is his 3-wood.
I understand, but they're also playing PGA Tour golf courses too.
That's why he's hitting driver.
Yeah.
Yeah, you playing a golf course at 7,400 yards? Yes, I see that. But if you're playing a 6,800-yard golf course,
that's right.
You better put it in the fairway. We'll always work fat part of the green to the pin, not always shooting at pins. You give yourself enough 15-footers, you're going to make 3 or 4 of them. And then if you're not making bogeys, you're going to shoot 3-4 under par. You average 68.
That's pretty good.
You do 68, 69 4 days?
You're making cash.
It's good insight.
I mean, this is about keeping the stress off of you because you have a limited schedule in front of you with 12 events, correct?
Correct.
All right. 12 events is not a lot to go out and try to finish in the top
And
5 on the
realistically,
money
it's
list.
6.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So basically, you're putting them in a vice, and it's getting tight.
True.
So you better be able to loosen it and go out there and relax and play. And the
Right
more,
off the start.
the more
Yeah.
you put it in the fairway, then on the green, and then go. To me, that's how you play golf. Now, a lot of guys say, "Oh, well, you got to hit it 9 miles and you got to shoot it every pin." Well, go ahead, because I'd love to be his age and what I know now. Because I mean, shooting over par is ridiculous if you can
Yeah.
hit it that far.
Yeah,
Because you don't have to hit drivers.
that's true.
I mean, look at that Web.com Tour event this week up at Greer. I mean, they're at 23 under par.
Well, I think
I
the
mean-
cut was 7 under.
That's right. That's right. You don't see them hitting driver.
I mean,
Yeah.
trust me, dude. I won 4 times out there in the old days. Okay, when it was the Hogan Tour, then it was the Nike Tour, and then the Bida. You don't have to hit drivers. You can. But I mean, I went in Richmond and I didn't drive it much. I hit 3 woods and stuff to put it in play and get. Next thing you know, poof. You know, put the ball in play. Put it on greens. As long as you can keep it 15 foot and in on a green, you're going to be laughing to the bank.
Yeah.
Sound like my college golf coach.
Well, it's
Well,
golf
there-
is point A
Yeah.
to point B to point C.
Yeah,
And if you hit a bad shot, which golf is a game of imperfection, not perfection. You want to go out and roll the dice and bet on the come, go ahead. But you're going to lose a lot more than you're going to win.
You don't want to be back here in Myrtle Beach saying, man, I just didn't hit my driver well.
that's true. Yeah,
That means you never got to a wedge. That means you never got to a putter to put any pressure on those clubs. Everything was based off that driver.
that's true. That's
So-
what I did. I did well out in California. That course is very small. It was windy, dry. So I just brought my 2-iron, and that's really all I hit. And I think I hit maybe 5 drivers the entire week.
And that what
And you
look
waltz.
what you did.
And you
Yeah.
waltz.
And you got a card
Yeah, yeah. So
out of
my-
140 players.
So I mean, I don't want to bash anybody, whatever. But I mean, I'm saying you
don't have to
You got
bash.
to bet
That's
on
just
the
your
odds.
philosophy.
Yeah.
You got to bet on the odds here.
that's true.
I mean, you're talking about your career and getting something started, and you've never been there. You don't know what these guys go through. You watch on television every day. Now, all of a sudden, you're going to go out there and hit driver every hole and think, dude, you're going to get smoked. If it's not on, you're going to play smart.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
keep the pressure off.
We had another young player in here, and Hugh and I were basically interviewing him before he left for the Web.com Tour Q School. And we both knew the golf course that he was going to try to qualify. And we said, when you get to this hole, just take 7-iron, 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 and make a birdie putt. It's a par 5. We told him 3 times during the broadcast. He goes down. It's his first hole he starts on during the qualifier. The first hole. He pulls out driver. Okay, makes a 10.
Behind the 8 ball early.
First hole. He's done. He's toast. He's done.
What course was this?
It's
Ombre.
down in Panama City Beach, Florida.
I had a couple tournaments down there.
Put it to you this way: I played in the first one they ever played there on the Hogan Tour, and I shot 1 over par and finished top 10.
Yeah, that is it's
So-
incredible golf course.
And back then it was top 10 to get to the next event. It's not top 25 like it is now. So I was conditional, shot 1 over par, got in. Next thing you know, poof, and then I'll win later in the year. So
But again, it's just a matter of
management,
course management.
calming your brain down, staying within yourself, understanding what you're trying to accomplish, and not getting out of your game plan.
Look at
Okay.
Rory. I mean, Rory's had 2 wins in the last 3 starts. Okay, on the PGA Tour. Players, he didn't putt worth a crap. That's what killed him.
It's true.
Augusta, he didn't putt worth a crap. That's what killed him. Okay, this week he was making everything. So it was all based off. Did he hit driver on a couple of holes that everybody else was maybe laying up or laying back or whatever? Yeah. But that's because he can control that driver better than he can probably his 2-iron and his 3-wood.
It's true.
He's just got that much comfort. That's fine for Rory. If that had been Tiger, they'd still be looking for his ball over at Lake Norman. Okay? Phil, Look at how bad of a week he had with the driver. He couldn't hit it. Couldn't hit it. So, I mean, these are best players in the world. And week to week to week, that driver can let him down. But that putter better not. That's just a couple old men here making
No, I like the insight. That's good.
making some comments. All right, let's get to Monday Morning Golf Rap. My goodness, we got philosophical here. D, you should have just hit the red button, dude. All right, so we talked about Rory. What'd you think of that little 61 Saturday? New course record.
It was pretty impressive. On that golf course, that's impressive.
Was that the easiest looking 61 you've ever seen? I'm sitting there going, dude, is he going to shoot 58?
He makes golf look easy.
When it's in the
Incredibly
groove. When it's in the groove. I mean, it's like Webb Simpson said, that was the smoothest round of golf he had ever seen in his life.
It was impressive. And I tell you what kind of got me, George, is I saw a picture of him with his swing at the top. You realize he lets go of the club at the top?
Yeah, you could see the grip.
I'm like, you want to know why it's on or it's off? Now we know. Now we know. You look at it at the top of his backswing, he lets go of it.
But the Godfather's not going to call him and say, hey, dude, you need to change that.
No, I mean, I'm not either. I just noticed it, and it was kind of odd that you would think the number one player in the world is doing something that everybody is trying to tell him, any student.
And we made a similar comment about Jordan Spieth in the way that when he comes through the ball, you notice in his interlock grip that pinky's always up in the air. All through the entire swing, that pinky's up in the air.
That's actually a good thing, though.
Yeah.
Because it's not a pressure point where most people, when they interlock, that's the pressure point where it should be in the fingers. But the fact that Rory lets go of it and then has to re-grip it and can drive it is, I mean, that's one reason. Yeah, he's strong. He's a great athlete. That's why he can hit it so far. But, wow, I just was like, but I mean, 61 around that place, when the PGA comes around, who's playing for second? Obviously, he's won there before, so he's won again.
Right.
He likes the golf course.
He likes the golf course.
So,
Loves it.
He set a new tournament record for the Wells Fargo event with 27 birdies. So that's a new record for the event. He finishes second in greens in regulation, 56 out of 72. So obviously it's not just driving the ball.
No.
And then he made putts. Interestingly, his putts, 9 of 11 during the 61 on Saturday, 9 of 11 putts were inside of 10 feet. 11 birdies, 9 of them inside of 10 feet.
His proximity to the hole was really good, too.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's easy to do the math on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you think about it, you give yourself enough opportunities, you're going to make them.
Starts with a 4-shot lead, ends up with a 7-shot lead.
And he 3-putted the first hole, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah. Bogey's number 1. How about that? He said, well, if I go out and shoot 69, 68, I figured somebody had to shoot really low to come get me. And that just told me that somewhere at the turn, he was going to look up at that leaderboard and go, okay,
Game over.
I need to apply a little gas. Or, okay, I can go ahead and set the coaster brake.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, interestingly, he didn't do that. You look at him on 14, you look at him on 16, he was still pulling the big dog.
Sticking to his game plan.
That's because it was feeling good.
Well, that and plus, like you just said, it was his game plan. Once you set a game plan, you don't vary unless.
And you could tell Webb feeling the pressure. I mean, it's his home course. He lives a mile away. This is his event. Basically, he's the unofficial host of it. And he throws it in the water on Saturday. He has water trouble on Sunday because he made shots that were out of his comfort zone. And trying to catch up on a runaway train that he wasn't going to catch, realistically. Yeah. Now, hats off to our young little second-place finisher, 22 years old, Mr. Rogers. Congratulations to him, who has no status on the tour.
Yeah, well, he's getting closer.
He got in. Oh,
he's getting closer. He won't get into Colonial this week, but the top 10 will get him into the tournament after Colonial. So,
well, we've got Colonial, we've got the Byron Nelson.
He'll get into Nelson.
And then basically everybody kind of regroups for a week and then gets ready for Chambers Bay, which I got to book that tee time, dude. Remember, they're shutting it down on the 25th, so I got to get the jet up there and book that tee time. So, you want to go with me?
No.
Well, thanks. Appreciate your support.
I'm getting ready for the Geezer Open, so.
I know.
But yeah, they'll do the Nelson, then they'll have the qualifiers between there. When's the Memorial?
3 weeks.
Yeah, so they'll be either be in Columbus or they'll be.
Well, Rory will be back for Memorial. So will Ricky. Ricky's going over for the Irish Open. Of course, European Tour has their PGA / Players Championship this coming week at Wentworth. That's always exciting. Great golf course. I've actually been to the clubhouse, never played the course. But great place. PGA is their PGA Championship European Tour. Roy's back for that. Interestingly, did any of you see his chat line last night at about 2 a.m. this morning?
Did not.
He was doing live chat with his fan club from the jet, from the executive jet, answering questions. And this all happened Eastern Standard Time about 2:30 a.m. this morning. So Godfather just happened to be up. So it was good. And really interacted well. He answered every question that was posed to him. And he just handled it extremely well. I was going to make a comment, and somebody beat me to it that, hey, dude, you need to get off this thing and get some sleep. Because, the guys, I don't know how they keep up this stamina. He's at 5-week stretch right now. He's going to do this week at Wentworth, next week at the Irish Open. Then he'll be back over for the Memorial. Then it's the U.S. Open. So, what a stretch of golf. Jordan took the week off. He's coming back. Of course, he'll play the 2 Texas events. So, Rory now has further separated himself between number 1 and number 2. But we heard Jordan make the comment last week during the interviews that there's so much separation between him and number 1. Rory's just that much better a golfer.
Jordan said that?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Well, at this point in time, he's correct. And
he made the comment during the press conference that there's no doubt Rory's that much better. He goes, I got a lot of work to do.
What is Jordan going to do to get better? I mean, he's already a great putter.
He's got a great short game.
Incredible
Phenomenal
short game.
for 21 years old.
Incredible.
Yeah.
What's he got to do to get to Rory?
It's a lot of it. I'm telling you right now, it's just experience.
But do we remember this conversations happening among the PGA Tour players back in 2000, 99?
Yeah.
I mean, the number 2, number 3, number 4 guys saying, wow, Tiger's just that much better. When we show up, are we playing for second, as you like to say? So, Spieth recognizes it. Your Patrick Reeds of the world, I'm at 5th. I'm going to stay at 5th. That's where I'm going to be the rest of my life. So I'm good with that. I'm cool.
Well, I mean, you just look, the guy's playing great right now. Everybody has their spurts. And,
it's anybody and everybody's week. We've talked about that. So, like Augusta this year, realistically, of those quote-unquote 97 players that were at Augusta, 70 of them could win this event.
Yeah.
If you take out the first-timers, which never win, and then you take out the winner of the par 3 contest, which never wins, and then you start narrowing it down even further from there, you take out the legends that are playing, they're not going to win. So you break it down, and there was 57 to 61 players that anybody could have popped up. So, and we saw Jordan do it. So everybody thought it was Rory. Everybody thought it was Phil. Everybody thought Tiger was going to do it, whatever. So, but Jordan established himself. And then we see Ricky and what he did at the Players. So,
I'm just, there's a lot of good young players. And again, it comes down to experience and understanding what you have to do. And as long as you can learn from mistakes and learn from what's going on, I think anything's possible. I mean, Rory could be number 1 like Tiger was for the next while and dominate. You could have somebody else, if they mature and get smart enough about things, could become that themselves. So, I mean, there's a lot of different avenues. Is there a specific way or specific thing that Jordan or Ricky or anybody else has to do? No. But as long as they can keep improving as far as mental capacity of thinking their way around a golf course, physically, and working on the short game and stuff like that, I think it's anybody's ball game.
Do you see Rory and we're going to cover the other tours, folks. So just hang with us a minute. But I'm just curious. I like picking pro's brain here. Rory's pumped up. He's gotten bigger over the last 18 months.
Oh, his
There's no doubt.
workout regime is crazy.
Yeah, I think he's doing it healthier and smarter than maybe some others did it. I don't want to say who, but his initials are Tiger Woods.
I think that's how Tiger hurt himself, though. To be honest
That's right.
with you,
That's right.
and I think you got to
You can bulk up and beef up so much to the point. It's like bodybuilders. You look at a bodybuilder and you figure, oh man, they could hit the ball 300 yards and they can't hit it 80.
Yeah, because they can't turn. They have no flexibility. I mean,
You look at this muscular guy right here. I mean, this kid's got guns, but I've seen him swing, and it's a smart type of workout program to where he's working on flexibility, mobility, speed at impact. That's great. For Tiger, I don't know what he was doing, but we do know that there was some sort of supplement somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was a wiry guy, and then all of a sudden he kind of ballooned up.
Yeah. And see, Spieth is still wiry.
No, it's
He's
wiry.
Small, wiry. Thank you very much. So Spieth is still small in frame. He's not the Spieth is he's not flabby. He's in good shape, but he hasn't gone into that weight training, heavy medicine ball, this, that, and the other. Rory has pumped up. That's obvious. You see on his the Golf Digest cover.
Chiseled.
Yeah.
Well, I look at it.
So does he stop it there? I think if he stops it there, he continues as number one for quite some time. If he goes over the edge, I think he's right there on the edge of that cliff. Okay?
Take it from experience. Do some work on your shoulders. Make sure you protect your rotator cuffs. You work on
that high lumbar in the middle of the shoulder blades.
Yeah, I mean, I think more flexibility as far as, and then ab work, shoulder work, as far as flexibility in your shoulders, so you don't tear your rotator cuff. Because trust me, when it's torn, it's painful. It's
you never really truly get back with the scar tissues and things like that.
It's hard. I
mean, but one thing Rory had, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but I think too part of his workout. Rory's always had light legs. I call them light legs. He never had big leg muscles, and he's done a lot of work on his legs now. And I think that's helped him tremendously just in his longevity, week to week, being able to keep his energy level up. I mean, these guys do a lot of walking. It's not like they go get in the cart and drive to their ball and get out and go hit the next shot. So I think for Rory, the workout – what he was doing for the lower body just kind of worked its way up, and everything looks great and perfect for his swing.
Oh, yeah. When you look at his swing when he was younger and a little smaller, it looks the exact same now. He's just bigger and stronger. He's still as flexible. And I think the science has come so much further as when Tiger was getting big and kind of that was all fairly new. Now we have more understanding of the body and how it works in the golf swing. And Rory's taking advantage.
Hugh has stated on several occasions that the four different Tiger swings is because of his workout and how big he's gotten. He's had to change the swing to adapt to his body.
It's true.
Instead of vice versa. You agree with that?
I do. I mean, you look at his swing when he got bigger, it became more round. When he was more wiry, more flexible, his swing was very upright, very fiery, put a lot of torque on his hips, a lot of torque on his knees. And then as he got bigger, he kind of became more of more on plane swing, I guess. He wasn't so much two plane as he was when he was a wiry guy. Now he's trying to get back to that, but his body's not really allowing him to do that.
Good point.
The thing that blows my mind with him is just the fact he got so much stronger because he wanted to hit it a long ways and got so caught up in that. I mean, then he blows his knee out. He gets that fixed. Then it's his back. And it's, it just amazes me. And I think that, if the ego thing with him and Butch hadn't gotten in the way, I think Butch would have got him to where say, hey, let's start working on your pace and backing this down, learn how to change gears. Because the guy,
great.
I mean, we were rookies together, and he could change gears. He could hit all kind of shots. And now you look at him. There's not a swing he makes. It looks like it's under control with good tempo. Everything looks like it's as hard as he can go at it. And I mean, the guy cannot drive it in a 100-acre field at the moment, and that's why. And you cannot swing that hard all the time and expect to be able to be accurate with it. There's just no way.
We got off the beaten path here, but Rory ends up winning the Wells Fargo, of course. Second tour win in 3 starts. Phenomenal play, proving again, just separating himself further. He moves up to number 3 in the FedEx Cup point standings, so look out for that. He comes back over, picks up another win on the PGA Tour. He's going to be right there at number 2, number 1 in the FedEx Cup. So I guess we got to keep an eye on him for Tour Championship at Eastlake in September.
I mean, if you don't, George, something's wrong with it. You're not the journalist, so-called host of this show that I would think you are.
As we mentioned, Patrick Rogers, young 22-year-old, does not have exemption on the tour, status on the tour. He finishes tied for second with Webb Simpson. Again, Wells Fargo, his event. Quail Hollow, his course. He lives a mile away. So it's good to see Webb play well. He made a couple of mistakes that kind of caught him, but he was never going to catch Rory. Just that was it. Gary Woodland finishes tied for 4th with Phil Mickelson, Robert Streb. It was interesting watching Mickelson. I mean, he shoots 12 under par for the week. That's great. His putting looked like it was better. I don't know if he could find any more lead to put on that putter. I'm not quite sure. Right now, he needs a forklift just to bring it in and attach it. So, where do you get those weights, dude? Or those? I got to call Lamont. I got to find out if Lamont Man is soldering weights onto Mickelson's head. So,
you can get lead tape anywhere, dude.
I know, dude. But we're talking it sticks out almost an inch.
Oh, I know.
That's crazy. Looks like a damn beaver put it together. Again, Jeff Ogilvy has a good event, 11 under par. Justin Thomas. It's fun watching Justin play. You talking about a turn on a golf ball.
He goes at it, too. Man, oh man.
That's a lot of club head speed coming from a very light young man. So a lot of fun to watch. Kevin Strowman had a good event, 10 under. Sean Stefani has a good event. Jason Bone finishes at 10 under par. Brendan Steele at 10 under par. Brandon, they were showing him on the air a couple of times, and literally Friday and Saturday he was making a little move, and you're going, oh, go B, go, and then all of a sudden, well, hi, I'm Rory McIlroy. Let me throw a little 61 on you.
Adios.
Yeah. Let me shoot 11 under.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and, oh, by the way, are the rest of you still here? Okay. Go ahead and get your plane tickets, boys. They'll send the check to you electronically. All right, then. One other person I want to bring up, and I was really good to see, and this kid is doing what he can to keep his card, and that's one Tony Finau. He finishes -8, tied for 16th, so a top 20 for him. Good for Tony.
Yep.
I watched him play at Reynolds a little bit during the quote big break reunion tournament, and that kid just bangs a golf ball. He's a pounder. Everything's left to right. There's no hook. So, and they say, people say, you don't hit his fade as far as you hit a hook. Go tell him that.
Yeah.
I watch him, he hits that little left to right peeler, the little peel, as we call it. And, he's out there at 300, and we're going, okay, how did he do that? So, and then I tried, and it goes 118 straight and 97 right. So, I'm hitting at 200. So, a good event for all. Quail Hollow, again, just showed itself. They've got a major championship coming up there. I think that'll be a lot of fun, as long as Rory doesn't play. So, because it's obvious that he can take that course with somewhat heavier rough. They did let the rough grow up. They shortened, they decreased a couple of fairways in width, and for the tournament. And I would assume likewise they will do that. The USGA will do that for the PGA, and so we'll see. But Rory just took a very hard golf course, not easy,
and made it
by the
look
stretch,
easy,
and made it look easy.
Yes.
So I'm wondering now if today being Monday, of course, they'll do their amateur the volunteers will play. I'm wondering tomorrow there's a committee meeting up at Quail Hollow to, okay, which holes can we move the tee box back 50 yards?
Well, I mean, when you hit a gap wedge into the par 5,
Right.
I mean, 364 yards off the tee, put a bunker in, do something to make them to where they can't catch that downslope.
Yep.
I mean, it's you just I mean, the guy makes a 3, and it's supposedly one of the hardest holes on the golf course, and he made it look like it was chip and putt. And
Yep.
I mean, you got to do something to fix that.
Let's. I'm going to go and again, I have to back up my brother here, but let's talk about the Web.com tour.
Mm-hmm.
We got a dink and dunker that ends up winning this thing. Rod Pampling, 45 years old. He's 80 yards behind his playing competitor with a driver.
So
80 yards behind him, and he wins this event.
I love it when you say I'm going to back my yeah, because you know what? I don't care how far you hit it. You put it in the fairway, you put it on the green, make a few putts, and it's game over.
Yeah. And when Rod actually tried to step on one, it almost got him in trouble yesterday. I mean, he had a 4-shot lead at one point, but he sprayed one on the first par 5 on the back 9. It went so far that he tried to step on it with a little left to right peeler, which is his natural ball flight. And it went so far right that it went into the other fairway through about 40 yards of trees.
Yeah, that's not good.
And then he had to hit. Now, interestingly, with Rod, he'll set up for that little cut stinger type driver, but he hits his irons with a very closed face. He snaps. He kind of puts that whip at the bottom like I do. Except the difference is he keeps his shoulder into it where I stand up and start looking for it before I even hit it. So he ends up hitting a marvelous shot, recovery second. He goes at the green, actually, but it ends up clipping the top of a tree, bounces right, gets a little bit further. But long story short, he ends up not losing the lead because the others just couldn't make a move. But again, 45 years old, ends up winning this event. The BMW Pro Celebrity Challenge. It's always a blast to watch.
I mean, look at
over 3 courses.
I mean, Roland Thatcher hits a heck of a putt to shoot 59 on the last hole.
Oh, well, how do you leave that short, dude? Don't leave it short, dude.
I mean, this is for 59. Take the head cover off, dude. Let's go.
Oh, he did. He hit a good putt.
He hit a good putt.
It was downhill. It was pretty quick. He read it perfectly, and it finishes an inch to a half-inch short, center cut. And he knew it. He bent over, stuck his hands in his face.
He did. But, I mean, what a round. I mean, Thornblade's not an easy golf course.
No.
And go around
None
and
of those
shoot,
courses are
and
easy.
go around and shoot 60. And, I mean, Shane Burt shoots 64. D.H. Lee shoots 64. I mean, that golf course has got it's tight. And, I mean, you've got to drive your ball in the right place. You've got to put your ball in the right places around there. You can't finish.
Well, Roland's little 60 on Sunday, round 4, ends up, he finishes at 21 under par, finishes in 3rd place. You got to love that. He shoots 71, 67, 67, 60. Okay.
Making a move.
Cabello, Miguel Angel shoots 65, 68, 66, 67. Now, you post those numbers at a tournament and you figure, I got a chance for this. I'm going to bite this one in the backside and take the big check home. No, sorry. He finishes at 20 under par, tied for 4th. I'm looking down through the names, Hugh. You see anybody, these are all new names to me.
You look at Patton Kazir. I mean, he finished his tie for 10th. The young man went to Auburn.
Steve Marino, 15 under.
Yeah, I mean, you've got guys. They're Shane. Like I said, Shane Birch, and then you go look. You got Rod Oppenheim, Brant Jobe. I mean, you look at some of these guys that are trying to get back to the tour. Roberto Castro, Ternessa, James Nitties. They're just a lot of great players on the Vaughn Taylor on the web.com.
Dickie
right
Pride. Isn't it amazing? I thought Dickie retired like 10 years ago.
No, he's been playing every year.
I know. I know. He's there every year.
Glenn
Vaughn Taylor.
Day, Tim Petrovic, Chalmers. I mean, you've got some guys that are veterans. Some of them trying to get ready for the senior tour. Some of them, Tommy Gainey.
Tommy Gainey finishes tied 50.
Charlie Wee. I mean, guy was unreal a few years ago, and then all of a sudden, poof, he's gone.
Now, Taylor, here you are trying to get up on it, and then you see these guys that you've known for years on the PGA Tour coming backwards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're just as hungry, if not hungrier, than you are.
That's golf. I mean, that's just golf. I mean, you got to stay hungry, and I'm sure they are. But
what does that Rod Pampling at 45 years old say to you about the dink and dunk process?
Yeah, well, that's it worked for him. That's his golf game. It's just who he is, and
well, dude, it's just like this. And George has heard me say this, and my wife's listened. She's heard me say it a million times too. But golf's a game to where it's like driving a stick shift or a manual shift car. You can't start out in high gear. You've got to know how to shift gears, and you know. If you can shift gears and you can step it to high gear if you need it, and you can back it down to third gear if you got to have it. I mean, that's a huge advantage, especially playing these courses you're talking about and what the web.com's playing. I mean, the golf courses they play are not long.
No, it's true.
So
we've made the comment about Tiger several times. If he was to swing at 80%, he can automatically beat 80% of the field.
I used to work out at Firestone Country Club where they have the WGC, and watched Tiger on the range beforehand, and it was just he didn't miss a shot. It was incredible. And we actually talked to his caddy before he teed off. He said something's good's going to happen today. Shot the course record that day. It was just in that smooth, rhythmic swing. And it was just, you watch him get out of his comfort zone, and it is just balls all over the place.
It is. And Firestone is a long, tight golf course. I mean, it's not as, with the new equipment, it's not like it used to be, but I mean, that thing used to be brutal. And, it's like I've always said, if he just would go 80% and learn to take his practice, 70% or 80% to the golf course, you couldn't beat him. But, it varies.
Let's give a real quick update for the LPGA. They just finished play. They're up at Kings Mill, one of our nice places. We enjoy Kings Mill. But they are, of course, there for the annual event held at Kings Mill, which is for them one of their favorite events, the Kings Mill Championship, presented by JTBC in Williamsburg, Virginia, of course. And the tournament was delayed. They had to move it into Monday to finish play in their fourth round. MG Lee ends up winning at 68, 67, 69, 65. 15 under par, wins $195,000. So Young Yu finishes second. Allison Lee, good to see her back up there. Allison Lee finishes third. Perrine Delacour finishes fourth, and Hu Yu Kim ends up finishing tied for fifth at 10 under par with Suzanne Patterson and Paula Creamer. Creamer she shoots 67, 71, 66 to get in the hunt for this thing. She was up there on the first page of the leaderboard, ends up shooting 70 in her final round to finish tied for fifth. So Lexi Thompson never could really get anything going after an open round 72. She does shoot 66 on Friday and then 67 Saturday, and a 71. Not a good finish for her. I'm looking down the list, Hugh. Do you see Michelle? I was curious. Where does she finish in this?
No clue.
I'm looking. I'm on page 11. I'm looking. Okay, I'm in the parking lot. I'm looking. Okay, I'm at the airport. Hold on.
That's probably where she is.
I'm looking. Oh, my goodness. I have gone way down. Michelle Wee, first round, 78, withdrew.
Ooh.
Last place.
Okay.
Is it health? Is it back to swing? What are we doing here?
Don't know.
You need to find out. I think you need to call her. You need to become her coach.
Text her.
Okay? I just want to watch you bend over and try to do that putting stroke and show her how to do it. That's the only reason I bring this up, is just to watch you do that.
It ain't going to happen.
Mr. Light, I want to thank you for joining us today. It's been a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me.
Please, when you come back for your 2-week break, pop over and see us. Let's get an update how your first couple events went.
Will do.
And we're looking forward to seeing you. Some of the events are covered on the Golf Channel, so we look forward to maybe seeing you on TV. If we're not, I'll tweet you and say, hey, dude, do something that the cameras kick on. So drop trowel, whatever you need to do to get some attention.
Do something.
Okay? Do something.
Good
brother.
luck to you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, bub.
You got
Enjoyed it, man.
Pleasure.
All right, for George and Hugh, TGD Radio and TV are produced and broadcast by the Zeus Radio Network for thegolfdirector.com. When visiting the Golf Director, be sure to check out our featured course pages where you'll find up-to-date information about course conditions, specials, and much, much more. Need help with your next golf vacation? Just call Dave. Give us a call, 844-GO-GOLF1. That's 844-464-6531. All of our programming is archived for listening or viewing on demand. You can pull it up anytime you want. To catch up on any show you may have missed, click on the TGD Radio or the TGD TV tabs in the menu screen at thegolfdirector.com. We're now available on over 1 billion devices at iTunes, Audio Realm, TuneIn, YouTube, Ustream, Roku, Blueberry, and, of course, the Myrtle Beach Golf app. For George and Hugh and Tyler down at the end, we want to thank you for joining in. We want to thank Big D behind the glass, and there's more golf news and information coming up next.